So in the group chat, there's this fucking guy, Luis Ogas. Shout out to him. That's my man, though. God damn, he's like the most annoying Suns fan I've ever met in my life, bro.
Ever.
Yo, the whole time, like from the beginning of the season, oh, Suns this, Suns that, can't nobody beat us, da 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 da. So it was just great. It was just great. Yo, remember, Adrian, hold on. What did the Suns get today? What's the word I'm looking for? What's that word?
Pool stick, bro.
Starts with a P. What was it? Say it again. Say it again.
Pool stick.
They got pool stick tonight, bro. That shit was fucking amazing. Hey, Josel, you're a Mavs fan. What did you think about tonight?
Well, no one likes to brag or, rub it in when it really hurts. So it really pains me to do this.
Rub that shit in,
the
boy.
Mavericks are going to the Western Conference Final because they shoved a boot right up the Phoenix Suns' ass, and it was easy. It was easy work. Start to finish. Let's talk about this because there's a lot of people out there who need to eat crow, and it's not just about the fans. It's guys like Devin Booker and Chris Paul acting like they had won something when they hadn't won anything. I don't know if you knew this, but in Game 1, he was asked about Luka, Chris Paul, and instead of referencing or talking about Luka, he referenced guys who weren't even playing in the game because he mentioned Luka's 45 points, and he was annoyed by it. Devin Booker tried to flex on guys like Jalen Brunson. You know what Jalen Brunson gave you? How about 28 points? How about a plus minus of 21? How about the fact that Jalen Brunson was targeting Devin Booker because Devin Booker couldn't guard anything? He couldn't stop a breeze from entering into a schoolyard, dog. Like, you need to stop it. Devin Booker was getting manhandled by Dinwiddie, by Brunson, and especially by Luka. Luka gave it to anybody. Mikal Bridges, I'll drop 20 on you. DeAndre Ayton, get your soft ass out of here, bro. How about 15 points?
Bro, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yo, hold on. By the way, what was the final score? Because I swear to God, I think the Mavs were up by almost 60 at one point.
No, it was actually like 40, but 45 or 47. So it ended 123-90, but that was because that was garbage time points.
Yeah.
Because here's what Phoenix did, right? In the first quarter, they had 17 points. That's already low. Mm-hmm. In the second quarter, they had 10 points. 10. Did you know that by the time
was fucking great, bro?
By the time the first half ended, Phoenix had as many points as Luka did by himself.
Yeah.
What a sad. You know what? I would play the small violin for them, but fuck Phoenix. Hey, you know what's funny, bro? I told you the whole year these guys were puffing their chest. Suns fans were puffing their we made it to the finals last year. We're gonna get there again.
Johnny,
especially Ogas, bro.
Let me make a quick comment. I remember Ogas was telling both of us when the playoffs started, he was bragging that the Suns had the best record against the East.
Yep.
And what did we both say, bro? Come on, tell them.
What did we say? Damn, that was a while ago. I know we always brought up the injuries.
Yeah.
We always brought up the injuries. Let me tell you something about the Suns. All right. They beat what teams did they beat last year? To get
every team was injured. Every
team was injured. I can't remember.
AD was injured.
They beat the Nuggets.
They beat the Lakers.
Round.
Anthony Davis was injured.
Anthony Davis was injured, and then LeBron was injured. The first game they got blown out, and then I think Booker and Crowder got kicked out the game late because they were just angry that they were getting blown out. Then they played Denver without Jamal Murray, and then the Clippers without Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard. Yep.
And then they also played. One second. Even the Bucks. What's his name? Greek. He had some crazy injury that he still played with. So
he still won. And he still won.
A bad knee because he went down and landed for a rebound, and it kind of spent backwards. Yep. It was kind of gross.
Yeah.
And luckiest team of all time.
Listen.
And just
luckiest team of all time. And I was hearing after they went up 2-0, bro, I was hearing people on Facebook saying, oh, this is a franchise team. This is a franchise team. I was like, are you guys out of your mind? This is a lucky team. This is one of the luckiest team in the NBA history.
Ever.
Every team. It reminds me, you guys remember when the Warriors won their first title? And shout out to the Warriors. They're a great team. But every team they faced, including the Cavaliers in the finals, was injured. It kind of reminded me of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's
like
worse,
I said, shout out to the Warriors, man. They're doing their thing this year. But Phoenix, bro, Phoenix last year's run was the biggest fluke. And on top of that, at least the Warriors won the chip with the Cavaliers injured.
Again,
these guys couldn't even beat the Bucks injured.
You know what, though, Johnny? I mean? The one thing I did make a solid point that when the team they played in the first round, I don't even want to mention their name, but they were the worst team to ever make the playoffs, like in a long time, because it doesn't matter what their name is. But what I'm saying is they went life and death with the worst team to ever make the playoffs.
Yep.
Because now with the play-in, you're going to see some really bad teams that make the playoffs.
Yes.
And they went life and death.
And what I was trying to tell everybody, because especially Ogas, man, I feel so bad we keep talking about him, but that's my man's. But it's everything that we're talking about here comes back to him, because he was the one that started all this shit. Remember how he kept saying, "Oh, it's the East. The East is weak. The East is weak." But if you look at the teams that didn't make the playoffs because due to the play-in tournament in the East, all had winning records.
Yeah,
right. They all had winning records. I forget who was the bottom of the bottom, but
whoever
they were.
It was the Nets.
No. But the Nets made. I'm talking about the teams that didn't make it. But regardless of who they are, they all had winning records. I think number 10 in the East had a winning record. So the East is now what the West used to be back in the early 2010s. Yeah. So the East has now shifted, and they're the powerhouse. Right?
Well, the Suns did break history. I mean, this Game 7, it was the biggest blowout for a Game 7 in the history of the NBA.
That was bad.
I think it almost doubled it from what I saw on Twitter. So
probably, look at Ray in the comments talk. He said the East trash. I said what I said.
Nah, East ain't trash.
Hey, but you know what, Josel, I gotta ask you, man. How do you feel about? Coincidentally, this guy that's just commented right now that said Warriors in 5. That's my man Ray, by the way. Shout out to Ray. He's a Dallas fan. Yeah. He's a Mavs fan, and he's a Golden State fan. So I know he's stressing right now. How do you feel about going into the next round against the Warriors, the hot Warriors, red hot?
So, I did want to keep talking about Phoenix, but I'll talk about Golden State for a second.
Well, so real quick, they're not that hot. Just so we're clear.
Let's get this out of the way. The best player on the court is going to be Luka. Mm-hmm. He's better than Steph Curry right now. He's better than Klay Thompson. He's better than Jordan Poole. He's better than Draymond Green. This is one-on-one. This is not put together. This is who he's better than. Like if you had to go in and say who was the best player on the court, it would be Luka, because people doubted it was Luka when they were playing the Suns. They thought maybe it was Chris Paul or Devin Booker, and you had to learn the hard way. You had to go in kicking and screaming to figure out that Luka was way better than them. And I think Luka is better than Steph Curry right now. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't think Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Dinwiddie are better than Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. Because let's keep it 100. Luka, the Mavericks, they have one All-Star on their team. One. And it's Luka. No other person is an All-Star. And people want to talk about how Jalen, like I love Jalen Brunson. This is Jalen Brunson's coming out party. But not one person, when Jalen Brunson, before he's got a deal signed out, no one went out to go get Jalen Brunson. And Spencer Dinwiddie in Washington was damaged goods. You know why Washington traded him, right?
I do not know why they traded him.
He was traded because he got a big deal from Washington after leaving the Nets, because he was supposed to be their star player. You know what he averaged for the Warriors? I mean, for the Wizards, he averaged 12 points on less than 30% shooting and awful defense. He was horrible. Like, he was awful. But now Dinwiddie fits in perfectly, because you now can switch off Luka. It doesn't have to be Luka anymore. You can have Dinwiddie and Brunson at the same time. Jason Kidd deserves all the credit in the world for why that defense is doing the things it's doing. Mm-hmm. But now let me get to who is going to win this series. It's going to be Golden State.
Okay.
Dallas. Here's the thing, right? I don't think Phoenix should have beaten. I don't think Phoenix should have lost to Dallas because you had DeAndre Ayton.
Literally, I agree 100%. I don't know how that happened.
Dallas doesn't have an answer for DeAndre Ayton. Dallas has no bigs. Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell were getting bullied by Ayton, and all Dallas did was spread the field or spread the court and stretch it out. And then they didn't use Ayton, and I don't know what Ayton was doing today. He was just standing there like he had never seen a basketball before. You're almost 7 feet tall. Go dominate those boys. Not one of them can actually defend you, bro. I don't know what the Suns were doing, but guess what? If DeAndre Ayton wants to leave Phoenix because Phoenix might not give him the bag, hey, we got a spot for you right in Dallas, because Dallas is one big man away from being a true championship team. And I'll say that right now. If Dallas gets a dominant big man like a Gobert or a Miles Turner or a DeAndre Ayton, Dallas goes to the Western Conference Final for the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
With their current roster, because they're a top 5 defense, they're top 7 in offense. They're a top 2 team since Christmas. Since the trade deadline, they have been one of the 2 best teams since the trade deadline.
They made a solid trade, though.
Along with the Boston Celtics. The Celtics and the Mavs were the most improved team after the trade deadline. And look where they are right now.
Okay. So, really quickly, this is an interesting comment. He says, Luka is a European James Harden. A lot of fluff numbers and will never win anything with his style of play. What do you think about that?
No, don't even respond to that, bro.
I'll respond to it.
Yeah,
it's not even worth the response.
No, I want to respond because actually Luka and James Harden do kind of have a similar play style. When you talk about them, they play very similarly. A lot of there's a lot of game managers like Luka. Like when people say James Harden, they usually mean the prime James Harden in Houston, who was the man. Who was really good. But the difference between
no success though.
When
he was 1A, not the coattail, not the you can't even compare the two, bro.
Well, sure. But like here's the thing though, right? Luka has already accomplished the best thing James Harden has ever done in about 3 years. James Harden has been in the league for over a decade, and it took him many years to do what Luka is doing right now. And Dallas is willing to build around Luka. Like Luka loves his teammates. Like, okay, Kristaps Porzingis, fine. We knew that wasn't a good fit. Fine. Like, you move on. But with James Harden, you know what James Harden is doing right now? And there's one big difference between Luka and James Harden, and why I don't they play similarly, but James Harden thrived on his athleticism. Luka is one of the most unathletic dudes to ever play basketball. Have you seen how he actually dribbles and gets into the paint? He plays like an old man. James Harden went 100% when he was in his prime. But Luka, this is a style of play that he will be able to carry over for the next 10 to 15 years because he doesn't need athleticism to get his own shot. He doesn't need athleticism to get a pass on. He plays a very fundamental level of basketball. He reminds me a lot of at times Jason Kidd, except he scores more.
Better three too.
Yeah, but Luka, we'll see. The verdict's out, right? Because Luka and Jason Tatum are guys that people think a lot of, but they need to win.
Yeah, I mean, let me just give some quick responses. I do think that the Warriors they play team ball, that motion offense that they have. I think Dallas is one of the best. They have several one-on-one players, which is like incredible. Dinwiddie, Luka, Brunson, these guys could all make their own shot, create their own shot. The only downside with that is when you play an elite team that knows how to move the ball, it's going to be tough. Not that they can't, but the one concern I have for the Warriors is without Ja Morant, they got blown out really bad. So, I mean, I don't want to say, that, because of that, they're going to lose a series, but it's never a good look when a team gets blown out that bad on a game they should have just won. So there's that. As far as DeAndre, you mentioned Ayton. There's a reason why the Phoenix Suns didn't extend his contract. So that's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. So
then,
really quickly, first and foremost, shout out to my man Ray B with the $4.99 donation. Appreciate that. And so back to the James Harden comparison. So YSM says Harden has never relied on athleticism. He's slow as shit and plays primarily under the rim.
That's
Harden
false.
never.
That is absolutely not true. James Harden was one of the perennial shooters when he was with Houston. Like, are you kidding me? He had a step back. He literally used his athleticism to blow past people to go in for like jumpers and long threes. When he was with Houston, and even after Dwight Howard left, and it was all about Chris Paul, he was shooting from the arc a lot. That dude was a pure shooter who used his athleticism to get like. He never played that much under the rim. He drove to the rim, but he wasn't under the rim like that. The guy he could get his own shot and could pass because he had guys like Chris Paul and Daniel House and a bunch of other cats in Houston. Oh, and Clint Capella. They had Clint Capella at the time.
Yeah. But they never went far. Harden became an elite passer when he joined the Nets. It's just unfortunately, physically, he didn't keep up with he didn't keep in shape, and then he just broke down mentally. Mm-hmm. So you can't compare a six.
So do you think? Let me ask you guys this: compared to the James Harden of Houston, well, maybe that this is probably where it all started. So Houston, it kind of reminds me of like Adrian Broner, like when it comes to like just being undisciplined. Do you guys feel that way? Do you guys feel like?
Just hear me out real fast.
Go ahead.
James Harden, look at his playoff numbers. Mm-hmm. You can't compare Luka, who's gonna right now. He's an all-time player, just based on stats and what he's done in the playoffs. Harden folds every time in the playoffs. Him and CP3. CP3 is the only player in the history, any team sport where it's a best of 7 series, who's lost 5 series when he's up 2-0.
Who? James Harden?
No, CP3.
Oh, CP3. Okay.
James Harden has even worse numbers. The other night in the closeout game, he only shot once in the second half.
Yep.
You can't compare.
Let me tell you this. He had a horrible series against Miami.
Every playoffs he has a bad series.
Yeah,
bro.
they won it in 6, and then I think in game 3 he had like 30 points, and that was it. And this is the thing with James Harden. This is why this guy. Remember Adrian especially. Remember when everybody kept telling me, I'm a Heat fan, oh, you should have traded Tyler Hero for James Harden. This is why.
No, I didn't want Harden on the Nets. I told you in the chat. I said I don't want him on the team. Mm-hmm. I preferred the team that we had before the Harden trade, and then once he wanted out, I said get rid of him ASAP. I'll take anything. Mm-hmm. So,
like I said, I'm glad we didn't do this because James Harden, he has this what do you call it when it happens consistently? What's the word I'm looking for? A pattern. Yeah. He does this all the time, especially in the playoffs. This guy in the playoffs, he just disappears and he just becomes.
You got to compare Luka. You got to compare Luka with like LeBron, Kobe, like these all-time elite players, like Reggie Miller back in the day. Jordan. What he's doing right now is just, and yet again, I'm a Nets fan, so like I have no, I'm not a Mavs fan, I'm not a Luka fan, but what he did tonight, I mean, he basically ended Chris Paul's all-time perception of how we perceive him. When the game was over, the second half, I think 2 minutes in, the game was over. I think they went up 8-0. They scored 8 points in a row, and I think they were up 38. Mm-hmm. And Booker had 1 point, and Chris Paul had 2 points.
Yep. Neither guy hit 15 today. I think 12, 111. One ended with 11. The other one ended with 13. They didn't get.
Yeah, Yosel said it best: garbage time stats. Mm-hmm. So when I perceive the game is over in the NFL and in NBA, I just cut off whatever stats because everyone knew the game was over. Yeah. They had zero chance of getting.
Yeah, that was embarrassing, and the worst part was it was at their home. This is none of us, not even me, and we all know this. None of us expected Dallas to win. I'm sure Joe Soil, maybe you wanted them to win.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? I picked Phoenix in 6 or 7 because I felt that Dallas was a solid big man away from a championship contender. I didn't think they would beat Phoenix because I didn't think Phoenix would be dumb enough to not abuse Aiden in the paint.
He's not that guy, bro. He's little.
But he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be. Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell are guarding you. Back when Kristaps Porzingis was still in the lineup, Dallas had one of the worst front courts in the league with big men. Like they were like, I think they were like ranked like tied for last for defensive big men, and nothing changed in the trade. You just got rid of Kristaps and had to move in Maxi Kleber, who's now just shooting threes, right? With Dallas today, Dallas shot 50% from the arc. They shot 50% from 3. That's if you don't know too much, that's actually extremely good. That's insane.
But the game was over when it started. They went on that quick little run right when the game started, and they never even showed fight. Anyone that ever, I want anyone who ever said Booker's better than Luka.
Oh my God,
bro! You just never watch basketball again, or never discuss basketball again in public.
That's absurd.
The media, ESPN, and this is why, thank God, I never even bother even remotely looking at anything ESPN related. All their podcasts suck. Everything about ESPN is fucking trash. But they have no idea what they're talking about. None of them, even the ESPN post and pregame, with all those fucking cornballs that act like they know what they're talking about. They have zero knowledge in basketball. Zero.
Mm-hmm. But listen. This was just, I didn't expect this. Even if I had a slight bit of confidence, because I wanted Dallas to win. I wanted to see what Luka could do. Finally reaching the Western Conference Final. Let's see if he folds. Let's see if he shines. You never know. We all got the Warriors winning, but listen, man. I'm just saying, you never know.
The only reason why I expected this, but not this bad, but I did expect a blowout because every other game was a blowout between these two.
Mm-hmm. You said every other game?
Yeah. Look at the scores. It was blowouts back and forth. No one's ever Vegas. If you listen to any of the Vegas podcasts, they said they've never seen anything like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Danny or Johnny, really quickly, talk to me about Miami. Because
I was just about to say let's talk Miami. We got before that. I want everybody to say it on air. Adrian, how do you have the series? And then Josel, same question. The Mavs and Warriors.
The Mavs, I think the Warriors are just too good, man. I got the Warriors winning. If healthy, everyone's healthy, I got the Warriors winning.
Okay. Josel, same question to you.
I have the Warriors in 6. I think it's the same problem that I had with the Suns. They're just a better team from top to bottom over the Mavericks. Like, you're not taking Jalen Brunson over Jordan Poole, and you're not taking Dinwiddie over Klay Thompson. I think Luka is going to be the best player on the court. He will have the best stats, but that's not enough. Your team needs to show up. It's 5v5, not 1v1. But real quickly about the Mavs, 2 players that I think have been instrumental for Dallas, because we've been talking about offense. Their defense has been top 5 all year, and that's because of Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock on Devin Booker was insane. Booker was like 4 of 17 whenever Bullock was on him. Whenever Finney-Smith was on Chris Paul, cut it out. Chris Paul wasn't doing anything. Like, those guys are like easily gonna be in the future for obviously like all NBA defensive team, because they've been fantastic with Jason Kidd's new system. But yes, I expect the Warriors to win in 6. But hey, I didn't think Dallas would be here either, and look where we are right now. And if Dallas beats Golden State,
yeah, they're winning it all. If they beat Golden State, probably.
I'm actually terrified of a team out in the East. And like, we're just gonna translate right into it. We're gonna go
real quick. 1 second. The only thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, this is what Dallas does, bro. Every few years, they make a run and they win the chip.
Yeah,
it's
kind of starting to. It was getting annoying at one point.
Yeah, but I'm just if Dallas keeps this roster, bro, if they keep Dinwiddie and Brunson and obviously Luka, bro, they're gonna be one of the toughest teams to close out because when you get in these close like game 7 closeout games, bro, it's all one-on-one basketball. Like the team stuff works when you're up. Like the Nets, when we were playing team ball, we blew out most teams. But when shit got fucking crazy, that's when the alpha wins. And I don't think there's a clearly on tonight's game, no one was everyone was beta when it came to Luka. Luka was the alpha in the court. No one could stop him.
So Joe, really quickly. So I know you said that you guys, you feel like you guys are a big man away from being a title contender. I mean, you guys are already title contenders. Look, you're already in the Western Conference Finals. Like I said, you never know what could happen. Who do you, in the perfect world, who do you think the front office should go after? There's going to be a couple of free agents. I don't know if there's going to be any big free agents off the top of my head. But who do you in the perfect world? We know the Rudy Gobert situation with Donovan Mitchell. It's either Mitchell leaves or Gobert leaves. Is that something you want to look at?
LeBron's available.
In mind?
So here's the thing, right? In a perfect world, Joel Embiid would request a trade from the Philadelphia 76ers and would demand to go somewhere else, and they would send him to the Western Conference to join Luka Doncic and become the greatest show in NBA history of the last decade in the greatest pick and roll situation. That is the dream scenario because Joel Embiid should be tired of playing for the 76ers and having them be dog shit every year.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
They're
it's
dog shit because of him, though. So it doesn't.
No. This year it was. I think it fell more on James Harden than it did Joel Embiid.
James Harden was awful, but like we've already said what we needed to say about James Harden. But like realistically, right? I would like Miles Turner because Miles Turner is young. He's a very young big. That is valuable right now because Rudy Gobert has been around for a while, and I think he's how old is he right now? Like 26, 27. Like Miles Turner is like 22, I think 23.
He's in his 20s. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Miles Turner is much younger than him. I would like Miles Turner. Or obviously Rudy Gobert, or the steal would be DeAndre Ayton. I was actually
just about to say I'm looking at the free agents and just strictly off center, and you guys got a lot of options. You got Ayton, you got Serge Ibaka. There's Andre Drummond, who isn't exactly who he once was, but DeMarcus Cousins. You know what I mean? There's a couple options for you guys.
That's what I want. That's who I think Dallas needs because once the rim is protected, because we already have perimeter defenders, you don't need anything after that because you have a rim protector and you have 2 of the top 20 perimeter defenders in the league. So like at that point, Dallas can match up with any team in the league. There's literally no team besides the one we're going to talk about here in a second that I think that the Bucks have been eliminated, that I think will probably win the title.
You forgot one person who's open on the trade market right now.
Who's that?
LeBron James.
Would he come to Dallas though? And I don't know.
But wait.
First and foremost,
they want him out. That's the word.
Apparently they want to build around Westbrook.
And just because he's out next year, so that means they're fully rebuild. That's what they mean. You could get LeBron for cheap. You can. You don't have to give back much.
Actually,
so you know what's crazy? I don't think that would work out because think about this, Joe. LeBron James is a ball dominant player. He needs the ball in his hands. I don't think him and Luka would. I don't think that works out.
Well, actually, I wasn't even thinking about Dallas. You know where I would go if I were LeBron? And it's something that could happen.
Stop. Don't. I know what you're going to say.
Send LeBron to Philly to go join Joel Embiid and trade him for James Harden so they can build around Westbrook, James Harden, and Anthony Davis.
Harden's free agent,
and then LeBron and Embiid would be one of the most dominant duo of big men in the Eastern Conference.
Two chokers. Two chokers.
No,
that are
I'm
always
telling
injured.
you, That's a 3-seed team. That's a 3-seed team.
No, bro.
And just so you know, Harden
and Tyrese Maxey is like 22, and he's getting better every year. Like,
yeah. But bro, do you understand how LeBron works? LeBron usually trades guys like that.
Well, no, but this is unprecedented though, because we're talking about him being traded. What team has ever openly or even thought about trading LeBron James? No team. Not Cleveland in the first stint, not Miami.
Hold on.
They don't have the assets, bro.
No. Listen. There was the trade. I never got finalized. I don't know what happened, but it was supposed to be Kobe Bryant for LeBron James back in 2000.
That was a while back. Yeah,
that was never going to happen. That had no.
It was proposed. It was proposed.
It was a proposed trade.
The proposed was it was mentioned. That was not a real proposal. They were not going to do that. And the reason I knew they weren't going to was because at that point, Kobe was already a commodity at that point for the Lakers. There was no chance in hell that they were going to give up their meal ticket, because when the Lakers were struggling, Kobe was the reason why they had fans even show up. Because
but remember, Joe, at the time it wasn't the front office, it was Kobe. Kobe wanted to leave.
Yeah, Kobe wanted out. You're probably too young, bro. I mean,
it was before, because he got Steve Nash and he got Dwight Howard. This was before they got Paul Gasol.
No, this is even way before that, bro. This is before that.
Okay. Which year?
Hold on.
Kobe and Shaq.
Joe, really quickly. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, so you probably, I mean, I'm only 3 years older than you. So this was, I want to say 2006, 2007.
So when they got Steve Nash, right? And Kwame Brown. And Kwame Brown was got sent to Los Angeles as well around that
2007.
time.
It was 2007.
Yeah, 2007. So this is like a long time ago. But that was a proposed trade. And they were entertaining it. It was.
Oh wait, no. Steve Nash wasn't there. Excuse me, I got that wrong. Steve Nash and Dwight Howard came later because after Kobe. So when Shaq left L.A., Phil Jackson left L.A. and then Dallas, and then L.A. struggled for a little while.
The first time.
Yeah. And then they LA struggled for a little while before they got Paul Gasol, and you had like Bynum and Lamar Odom and Meta and like the entire crew, like the guys who could really play their role and do exactly what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm. But listen, I was gonna say this. I noticed this play, and this is probably a realistic scenario for you guys. What about Jusuf Nurkic?
That's gonna be tough.
You think so? I mean, he's a free agent. What's he making right now? Let me.
You know what? I think he's restricted.
Is the salary guy?
Well, real quick, DeAndre Ayton is a restricted free agent, so you're not going to get him. That's not going to happen. James Harden, by the way, is unrestricted free agent, so Philly can't trade him. They have no rights to Harden, but they have no rights to him. So, and they have no assets. So LeBron to Philly will never happen unless they take like trash.
Listen. Nobody wants James Harden. Maybe the Lakers do. I don't know. They're trying to trade everybody, but the nobody wants James Harden, man. Unfortunately, it's just he has a pattern, and he's just shown that he's just not a guy that you can rely on. But anyways, let's shift the series back to the Eastern Conference. So for the Eastern Conference Finals, we have a rematch of the 2020 bubble Eastern Conference Finals between Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. You guys know me. I'm a Heat fan, so let me just talk on it really quickly. I don't want to boast or brag, make it seem like we're hot shit and whatever, because to be quite honest, we've been playing injured teams. Joel Embiid was injured. Even though he played, he was still injured. The Hawks were injured. And, we did what we had to do against them. Do I feel confident we could beat Boston? Absolutely. I think we beat them in 6. I could just be, smoking rocks. I don't know. I feel like our defense is about as good as Boston's. I feel our offense is better. I think we're deeper than them. But you guys let me know. Am I tripping, or you guys think I'm...
No, actually, I'm going to be real with you, Johnny. This is the team I probably fear more than any other team in the NBA, because they are 7 deep and arguably 9 deep. Look at who you have. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, Victor Oladipo, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker, Udonis Haslem, like Markieff Morris. You guys have depth at almost every position. You guys can go. Y'all are 8 deep. You know how many teams would kill to even be 5 deep, and you guys are 8 deep? No. Miami they're well coached. They know their roles, and they get behind the guys who lead them. Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, and I've said this before, he's arguably the most underrated superstar in the NBA.
He's not a superstar.
He's not a superstar.
No, I'm sorry.
That's unfortunate.
I feel like he's more of a superstar than someone like Ja Morant because Ja Morant had one good year. Jimmy Butler
only 2 years.
But he's had one. And when he was out, his team was 18-2 without him. So we need to start talking about how his team maybe is a bit better.
But at the same time, if you want to say that Jay Morant was better than hold on, let me add my
Jay Morant. Ja Morant's the most exciting player in the NBA. Come on, guys.
If you want to say the Grizzlies did good without Jay Morant, the Miami Heat also did very, very well against without Jimmy Butler as well.
But that's because they're like I said, they were deep. If you weren't deep, you can't be that good. The Grizzlies and the Heat were deep. That's why I thought the Grizzlies would end up going to the Western Conference Finals and losing to Phoenix because that's who I originally had going.
It's easy to build a deep team when you have a rookie or a second-year guy making nothing.
So really quick, what's good, Jamil?
I came here for Mr. J429.
Oh shit! You want the smoke?
Hello, how you doing?
How come no one wants to come after me, bro?
I came here strictly for them. He's been flooding my timeline like the last 3 years with Lucas shit. And Dallas Maverick shit. 3 years, man. The European James Harden. The reason why I say that is that if you look at the principles of how they play, it's basically the same. They play in a spread offense to whereas though they probably have the ball at the top of the key. Now, the reason why I say they're never going to win shit is because there's no action going on behind the defense. Everything's in front of the defense. And if you notice that James Harden, even when he was at his height, he never really won shit because of that reason. It's no matter how dynamic it is, it's one set. Now, Jalen Brunson, he allows some flexibility, but with the way Luka plays, he has like a 90% usage rate. And mind you, I'm not quoting statistics. I'm just saying exactly how he plays. The ball is always in his hands.
And hey, Jamil, real quick, let me just follow up on that point. Luka Doncic, it's Adrian. Yeah. Luka's usage rate, no player in the history has ever been successful with the usage rate that Luka's on.
Okay.
Just to back you up. You are right. You're 100% accurate on that.
I wasn't basically speaking a specific number. I'm just saying with the way that he plays, right? It's either two things are going to happen. Defense are going to eventually game plan and key in on him, or he's going to get worn down by the 5th and 6th game. Now, Mister, I can't pronounce your name. I don't want to butcher. Is it Joe Sal?
It's Joe Sal, just like Joe and Sal. Yeah.
Joe Sal. Yeah. He's a great player, and I feel like he has to change the way he plays like Michael Jordan. I think you got to take the ball out of his hands for majority of the game. He needs to learn how to play off the ball. He needs some double screen action. Maybe add a Princeton set, some motion, something.
It's too slow for motion.
Huh?
He's too slow for motion.
I'm actually gonna say something real quick because I actually don't disagree with what you're saying, because you mentioned Michael Jordan. I think people need to understand that, like, when people talk about Jordan, two things. One, he was a two-way player. Like he was defensive player of the year. He was always, like, most of the time on all NBA defensive first teams, and he could have won another defensive player of the year at any point during his career, and no one would have said anything. With Luka, it's different because, like, I don't think that you need necessarily like Magic Johnson, right? Like you don't need to be like this defensive two-way player to be something great like Magic Johnson would, because we don't look at Magic and say, oh God, he's the greatest point guard because he's a two-way player. It's because he can pass the ball. But you are right that he should be able to play off the ball and not completely just with it. Because when Michael Jordan was going through his first 45 years and as a Chicago Bull, he was averaging almost 35, 40 points. He had 68 points in a loss, but you know what? That was still a loss because one person can't do it all. You need a team to play with. Your team has to be able to help you. Like when Luka scored 45 or 40 points in the first game against Phoenix and then scored like 35, 30 in the second game. But what would happen? They lost. So you are right. He needs to be able to play without the ball in his hands, but I do trust that he will be able to. My thing is, I felt people were trying to discredit him early because let's keep it 100, right? Before Luka even got into the league, not a lot of people believed in Doncic because what everyone wanted was DeAndre Ayton. Everyone thought Ayton deserved to be the number one overall
Not
pick.
me. Not
Why
me.
would everybody want DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, most people wanted DeAndre Ayton, and everyone said he should have been number one overall to go into, and that he was going to be better than Luka Doncic. Very few people believed in Luka because they didn't have much knowledge of the EuroLeague.
But before they played,
yeah, but like still, Luka, what Luka had been doing, he was playing with grown men when he was like 15, 16, and winning MVPs in that EuroLeague when he was like 17, 18. So like this guy is different from like the other cats you've been watching. Like John Morant and like Tatum at 15 and 16 were doing a fourth of the things that Luka was doing at the time, playing with grown-ass men. So
yeah,
like,
but that doesn't mean that they're better now because he was playing at a higher level early. You know, they're trained. You know, they don't got to worry about school like athletes in America. They're trained at an early age to be basketball players, which actually works to their benefit when they get over here.
Just real quick, Jamil, the only thing I really don't even want to even factor in or consider Harden, Luka comparisons. Luka's 23. He's been a superstar since the first game he's played. He's been the guy. He's 1A. Harden was he's a guy off the bench, a sixth man for 4 or 5 years.
No, it's
and his career's over. His career is over.
It's more about style of play. They play very similar. If you actually go back and watch the tape, how they score.
I'm a Nets fan. Trust me, I watch Harden.
They play the exact same way.
The best version of Harden is that early on with the Nets when he became a facilitator.
I thought it was James Harden, to be honest.
I preferred
the
Nets because when he was healthy, the way he was facilitating, he only had to shoot a certain amount of shots. The one thing that you guys are failing to remember is when James Harden, when he was on those Houston teams, what happened every playoffs? He ran out of gas. He was too tired. He couldn't be effective. That's why.
You're saying exactly what I'm saying about the kid.
No, but Luka doesn't get tired. Luka puts up 40 points a game in the playoffs, bro. What are you saying? You can't compare the two.
Bro,
you can't compare the two. One's an all-time player. Show up the stats. Pull up the playoff stats. Pull them up. Pull them up right now. Come on. Pull them up. Google it. Johnny, pull up the stats. You can't compare the two.
If the first thing that you go to, if I'm talking about style of play, the first thing that you go to is stats, then we have
No, that's not what we're talking about. I said look at the playoffs. Look at the playoff play. The style of play during the playoffs is different than the regular season. Regular season is moved.
Still play the same.
Doesn't matter.
It's a spread offense with a rim chaser, a dude in the corner. They spread out. Luka goes either 1-on-1 or the rim chaser comes in for the pick and roll, and he has about 3 to 4 options on that.
You're talking about the system. The system doesn't make sense. I don't care about the system. If he's not putting up the same points, it doesn't matter. If you put up 13 points in a loss, Luka's putting up 40 a game. You can't compare the two. What are you saying, bro?
Yo, at James Harden's best, what was he averaging? 35?
No, talk about the playoffs. No one cares about regular season.
I said at James Harden's best, what does he average? About 35, 33
Actually,
points?
I can pull it up right now.
Yeah, please pull
for
it
his
up.
best season.
Right?
Hold on, let's see. So in the playoffs, his best season was 2019. He averaged 31 points. He averaged 7 rebounds, around 8.6 assists a game, 2.5 steals, and a block.
It was his MVP year.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
a 30-point. At his best, he was a 30-point player, right?
Yeah.
If you look at how he scores and you look at how Luka scores, they play very similar. And that's what he's going to have those same problems unless he adjusts, unless they take the ball out of him. The triangle wouldn't be a bad option if they throw in some principles of the triangle in Jason Kidd offense. But if you remember, Jason Kidd never played like that.
No.
Jason Kidd, so I doubt that he'll do that.
And I'm a Nets fan, so trust me, we've had Jason Kidd in his prime. So
actually, I want to ask something to Jamil because he said something, and I just want to get some clarity on it because I thought it was somebody else with the YSM, right? Because it's either you or Brendan, so I didn't know who it was. But you had made a comment about how because I agree with you, Luka and James Harden are very similar when it comes to playing with how they play basketball. I've always felt that way. The thing with James Harden, though, is when I look at Luka, Luka has never been considered a very athletic guy. He's never been considered a freak athlete or someone with explosiveness. He's just a guy who can really drive and play at his own rhythm. With James Harden, I feel he definitely thrives more on finesse and athletic ability than Luka does because now
early on
he's slow as shit.
No, now
Luka is slow. Luka is way slower than James Harden.
Yeah, he's slower than James Harden, but you realize they called him old man game in high school, right? He has an old man game. He plays below the rim. They're both not athletic. They both get by. They're herky-jerky players who are highly skilled and have the ability to just create space and
this is history because Harden's career is basically over.
Oh no, I'm talking about James Harden at his best. I'm not talking
his best.
He's wild. I'm talking about deep scrubbing.
He hit a wall pretty fast, man. Because early on when he came on the Nets, bro, that when he was facilitating, bro, I watched every game. I think that was the best James Harden I've ever seen. And then, injuries, Kyrie getting, vaccine and just,
James was never that good, though. It's the offense.
I know, but he's perfect for that team.
Offense. Yeah, the D'Antoni offense is going to fluff your numbers up. It's just, he was never that good. He was always overrated.
Effective, though.
I think Luka was better than him, especially his first 3 years. But
you're like I said, I think you're comparing an all-time player in Luka and just just someone that won an
early
MVP.
To call him all-time player, yo. It's a little early.
So far, it looks he's like I said from the day that he stepped on the court, and I'm not a Mavericks fan, I'm not a Luka fan, but it's at this point you look stupid if you don't consider him potential all-time player. You just look crazy. There's just no way. Devin Booker and he just beat the 1 seed. They were up 8 games over the entire league. No one had him winning, and he put up one of the greatest games we've ever seen, ever.
You were sold on the Suns?
Who? Me?
Yeah. No, hold on. We're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. The Suns were the best team in the NBA by far.
I asked him a question. I said, were you sold on the Suns? It's a simple question. Were you sold?
Me? No, I was never sold. I wasn't sold on them last year. We spoke about this when we opened up. They were a product of injuries. So
okay, so me and you share the same sentiment. I'm not taking away their victory. I'm not taking away what they accomplished. I'm just saying I was never sold on them.
But honestly, you tell me what all-time great beat a 1 seed the way Luka just did tonight, or anyone.
Oh, no.
No one's done it. I can't think of it.
Today was the weirdest fucking day in basketball. Nobody showed up for a game 7. The shit was weird.
Yeah, they did break the record for the biggest loss for a game 7.
Today
the biggest.
Was embarrassing. Did you watch the Celtics versus Bucks?
Yeah.
Besides Giannis, like I'm gonna be real, bro. Like even though Chris Middleton was hurt, like that's just part of the game. Injuries come and go, and you have to deal with them. And unfortunately, the Bucks were my pick to win the championship. But obviously it didn't pan out. So
if Middleton's healthy, they win that in 5.
Well, even if that's true, right? Like you can only do what happened, right? Because like what if Boston goes in to play Miami and suddenly like Jaylen Brown goes down or Marcus Smart goes down or Tatum goes down? Then we need to have the conversation again of an injury, because injuries are part of the game. The best ability is availability. That's always going to be a factor. It doesn't matter how many points you can score if you don't play in the actual game.
No, that's the excuse. That's the debate that everyone has. So I agree with you with that. I mean, you can't disagree with that statement. It is what it is. The only thing I factor in is like freak injuries, like when Trae Young last playoffs, when he stepped on the ref's leg. That's not like, that's a freak injury that like never happens,
Yeah.
So that was weird.
So actually, real quickly, so who do y'all have winning the title now? Like Jamil, Johnny, Adrian. Who's your pick? Who's taking it this year?
I could go.
Let me. So because I've pretty much been quiet the whole time. So let me just start off with myself. So my heart wants obviously the Miami Heat to win because I'm a Heat fan. Do I think we have a realistic chance? Yes. I feel like we have the shooters to keep up with Golden State. We definitely have the depth to keep up with any team in the NBA. So I want the Heat to win, but what my head tells me is that unfortunately the Golden State Warriors are looking like the NBA champs of 2022. Unfortunately, but I'll tell you this: if there's any team that could beat them, it's going to be us, because I believe we have the shooters to keep up. We have the better defense. We have much more depth than them. And, I feel like we got more dog in them.
They're going to smoke the shit out of y'all, Johnny.
I mean, that's your opinion, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's your opinion,
I'm not even sure y'all.
Jamil, go ahead. You go next. Tell me.
No. Hold on. Say that again, please.
I said I don't even think y'all going to get a chance to play him.
You telling me you think the Boston Celtics are going to beat us?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That ain't happening.
Honestly, I think this Final Four, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be based on matchups. And
right. So
I don't have any particular.
Let me ask you this. Since you think Boston's going to beat us,
how many games?
6.
Oh, I got the Heat in 6 as well. So their bench compared to ours, which is better?
Yours is better.
Way better, no question. Right? Their starting 5 versus our starting 5, which is better?
Theirs.
Okay, tell me why.
Jason Tatum is better than Jimmy.
Jason Tatum is not better than Jimmy Butler.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
That's close.
He is.
No,
that's close.
They're very close. They're 50-50.
They're different types of players.
Jimmy Butler is a much better defender.
Jimmy got better dog in him too.
Jimmy has absolutely more dog in him. Jason Tatum's a better scorer than Jimmy Butler.
Just because you yell and curse at people, I saw something in Jason Tatum.
Who am I cursing at?
No. I said I'm talking about Jimmy Butler. Just because you yell, curse, and try to fight people don't mean you have more dog. I saw something in Jason Tatum that I didn't think was there.
What, he beat a team with Middleton out? Relax.
No. It's about when the going got tough, he got going.
Okay, so against an injured team though.
It wasn't just this series. Did you not watch the series
against the Nets? I'm sorry, but the Nets don't play defense, bro.
Yeah, we don't. I'm a Nets fan.
I said regardless of not, he went up first play. Him versus Kevin Durant, right? Cleared it out on Kevin Durant, hit Kevin Durant with a turnaround J. Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best players of all time, right?
Right.
He took it to him from day one, hit the game winner that game. Basically,
game winner, he got a layup. Relax.
It doesn't matter. It's still a game like shit. You know how many man.
But listen, Jamil, it's so much difference because you're talking about a team that plays absolutely zero defense compared
to
so does that mean Adrian and Johnny's laying some money on the wood?
I didn't make my prediction yet, so let me just go. I mean,
go ahead.
I wanted to answer
Adrian.
the original question.
Go ahead.
If NBA was actually competitive and like the league had no interest in who won, I think the Warriors win. Knowing that the NBA is a business and it's not an actual sport, I think the Celtics are going to win it all. I think the Celtics are going to win the whole. That's my personal opinion.
Okay, but why?
Let me go.
Why? Okay, so clearly, out of at least right now, currently, the Warriors are the much more popular team than Boston. Why makes you think that they would officiate this and make Boston the winner?
It's more money in Boston winning.
Yeah, there's more money in Boston
younger
winning.
too. Boston will be around for a lot longer than the Warriors will be in a few years because those guys are starting to hit like 30. Like Tatum and Brown and them
those guys are
like
shooters.
20s.
Bro, those guys are shooters. Klay Thompson is only 30 years old.
No, but there's a difference, Johnny. This is why we're all agreeing. The three of us are agreeing. There's more money in Boston, and
long term, yes.
ESPN. It's the city of Boston. They're a way bigger market.
Yeah,
fucking bro. The owner of the Warriors said that crazy shit about the Muslims. Like, bro.
Business wise,
business wise, the NBA is a business. They've lost. Look at the money. Their ratings are shit. They've lost. Every team's lost money the last few years, but definitely this past season. Mm-hmm. They're gonna push for Boston and then hope it's like a Tom Brady Patriot thing where they go on a run and win like 2, 3, 4 rings, just like in the golden age.
I mean, you guys might be right.
I hope I'm wrong.
Hopefully, but you could be right. I don't know.
So
for who I have.
This is my opinion, real quick. Joe Sell, you'll be next.
Hold on, I wanted. Hold on, Joe. My bad. But I wanted to get back to what Jamil was saying. So he's telling me that Jason Tatum's a better player than Jimmy Butler. I don't necessarily agree. I don't agree at all. Actually, I don't think he's a better player. I think they're about the same. I think Jimmy, as Adrian said, has more dog in him, and I'm not just talking about barking at people and trying to fight them. I'm talking about he just has more heart. Absolutely more heart. I mean, look what he did. Look what he did against the Lakers by himself. Took him to 6. The Lakers ended up winning by a blowout in Game 6, but he by himself single-handedly. Miami was injured. They didn't have Goran Dragic, which was their best scorer at the time. Jimmy Butler by himself with a team full of rookies.
Man, we were horrible. That bubble chip shit don't count. That bubble chip shit do not count.
I
mean, it doesn't count to you, but it still counts in the books.
I don't consider the bubble. I don't consider the bubble for anything. Anything that happened in the bubble.
I'm sorry, guys, but that definitely needs to I'm not gonna get too much on the bubble. All I'm gonna say is every team had the same advantage and disadvantage of playing in the bubble. And if you played, you have no excuses for winning or losing. At the end of the day, the best team won.
And what happened in the bubble stays in the bubble. No one cares.
The Lakers won.
My team won.
No one cares. It's not real basketball. It wasn't the real league. So.
I mean, you can say it doesn't count, but it'll never take the chip away.
It'll be an asterisk,
are like buttholes. Everyone has one.
I'll take the chip for all time. But that shit
let me ask you guys this: Why do you guys have such a problem with the bubble? Like, what's so bad that makes you guys think, it doesn't count?
Just acknowledge it was the bubble. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Because, bro, first of all, mentally, most players weren't even there.
Mentally, bro, that's not. You didn't have to deal with. You didn't have to deal with the other things. That how many championships has it been? How many years? 75 years? No crowd noise. Like there was no crowd noise. No traveling. Like no.
Yeah, but every team was under the same.
That's a fake ass championship that my team, the Los Angeles Lakers, had. It should have a Mickey Mouse on that fucking ring. It's not real.
If we're putting asterisks next to championships, then we're gonna have to start looking at a lot more than just the bubble ring. How about shortened seasons? I'm looking at the Spurs, the Rockets.
I've already mentioned that.
Teams that faced injuries.
No, not injuries, because injuries is a part
of the game.
No. Hold on.
We can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yes, injuries are a part of the team. But when the Golden State, hold on. But when the Golden State Warriors played against Toronto Raptors and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson went down, Don't tell me that any of you guys expected this next man up bullshit.
I didn't expect it, but they lost.
They lost.
Okay, yeah, they did. But we got to look at the injuries. We can't just say, injuries happen.
That's in the realm of basketball. That has nothing to do with
I'll break it down for them real fast. The bubble championship cannot be. It's not equal to the regular championship. That's it. That's all we're saying.
I agree with you. But I don't think that it should not count.
No. Whether it counts or not is irrelevant. What I'm saying is, it should just be acknowledged as its own. Like that bubble, it's a bubble championship. Don't consider this year's championship and the bubbles. It's just call it what it was.
All
bubble championship
is if it wasn't the Lakers and LeBron winning the title, I guarantee you there wouldn't be this much controversy over them winning the title. If it had been Kawhi and Paul George winning that title, I guarantee you there wouldn't be this much controversy, or the Miami Heat winning.
Because the Clippers won. If the Clippers won, it's the first win of the
It's like, and it's just a fact. It's just a fact. Like, it's true. Like, people want to pretend that like there's no narratives in basketball, but there is. We've been watching this sport.
I'm a Lakers fan. It was
and he still called it. That's crazy. And they're arguing
because like Lakers fans have this thing where like y'all have hated on, like a lot of you have hated on LeBron ever since he got there.
Bro, it's a fake chip. I don't care if it's a
championship.
That 50 game chip was bullshit too.
Let's not argue over.
But you got to give your prediction, Joseph.
Oh, okay.
Give your prediction.
So, okay, for me, I think the best team left is the Miami Heat. Let me say this real quick: Boston and Miami, the winner of that series wins the title, in my opinion. But I do believe it's going to be Miami. I think Jimmy Butler. And this is just me, right? This is personal preference. I'm not gonna like go into semantics because like we could talk about this all day. I think Jason Tatum is a better scorer than Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler is a much better defender than Jason Tatum because Jimmy Butler has been all defensive team 5 times. He's led the league in steals at least once. Jason Tatum has not had any defensive accolades like that in his career. Not yet. But for me, Jimmy Butler is a more complete player. He's a better two-way player. And I think that's what makes him a bit better than Jason Tatum right now. But 5 on 5, this series is going to be, I think, the more physical of the two series that are left. Boston and Miami will go to war. Golden State and Dallas, I think, will be more of a finesse game, but which Golden State ends up winning in 6. But yeah, I'm picking Miami. I think they have everything. They do everything well. I don't think they're lacking in any area. They have big men. Real quickly, I want to add on to this. Every team left does have a flaw because, and on the Western Conference side, it's a big one, and it involves bigs. Golden State is small, even with Kevin Looney on the court. They're a very small team. A dominant big will have a field day in the paint. Same with Dallas. Dallas has Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell and Boban, who they don't even play. So, like, they're going to get abused in the paint. Which
there are no dominant bigs left, though.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, I think.
He's not dominant.
No. But Bam, in my opinion,
not a real big though.
But like Bam, it's like who's gonna Golden State and Dallas. Who's legitimately gonna guard Bam Adebayo and do real work to him? Like, be real.
You act like he's this guy that you're gonna throw it down.
But I'm not saying
he's a supplemental.
Look what I'm saying though. I'm not saying he would do that to Giannis or Joel Embiid or Jokic. I'm not saying he's Jokic or Embiid.
He's not going to do
Giannis.
That to
I'm not saying any of that. But I am saying that what Dallas and Golden State have is they're small. They are small. You don't need to be like super dominant, but like I think Bam averages 20 against any of those teams.
Yeah, but they could just shoot. They could shoot you out the gym easy.
They can, but so can Miami.
Yeah,
Miami has shooters. Miami has shooters.
Yeah, but nowhere near on the. They're not going to.
Maybe
Miami's going to have to play defense. And slow the game
not on the
down.
level of Golden State, but remember, Miami has 2 things. They got defense and they got shooters, right? Yeah. Not the shooters that Golden State has, but they have a lot more defense than Golden State.
They got to slow that game down, like big time.
Mill, your prediction. Well, we already know, but tell me why.
If I had to choose one, because I feel like it's based off of the matchups, if I had to choose one, I would say the Warriors.
No, between Boston and Miami.
Oh, Boston. I just told you, Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Tell me why. And in how many games?
In 6. I already said that.
Okay, so tell me why.
Do you want me to break it down analytically? Baby. Oh yes. My gosh. Come on, Johnny.
Just do it.
All right. Okay, so I honestly think that Jaylen Brown's going to be the key to this series. When you got dudes like Kyle Lowry has experience, I think Kyle's
is he healthy?
I was just about to say I don't think Kyle's going to be playing in the Eastern Conference.
I thought he's coming back.
He's hurt. Not yet, at least. I don't think he tried coming back in the Sixers series and he was like wobbling and hobbling. I think he probably made it worse. I don't. Victor Oladipo is going to be taking his place.
Yeah, he's unlikely to play game 1. That's what it's saying. It's unlikely to play game 1, Kyle Lowry.
Because I swore he was going to come back. All right. So basically, with the way the NBA's played now, it seems like whoever has the best wings are going to have the advantage. And I feel like Boston has the best wings. They have guys that can create off the dribble and create for others. And I feel like it's just Jimmy. And I've never really thought that highly of Jimmy. I think Jimmy is a complimentary player. He's not the guy. He's Scottie Pippen-ish.
Okay, that's fair.
I have Jimmy higher all time than Harden.
So Adrian, now same question to you. Who do you think wins how many games?
I said if it was actually a competitive sport, I think the Heat would probably beat them. I think that they're going to shut down. Like if they let Jimmy Butler play defense the way he wants to play, I think he shuts down Tatum. Not shuts him down, but slows him down big time. And they win. They win fairly comfortable games. Like remember when I told you that even if Embiid played, the games would just be closer, and they'll just steal one, and that's basically what it's going to be. But what the league is, it's just like it was tonight and the other night when they needed the Celtics to win, touch fouls. You know what I mean? The 50-50 balls, they went towards the Celtics. And it's tough to beat the refs, man. It really is. And I'm not saying the league is fixed, but it's a business at the end of the day. So I see a lot of frustration for Miami.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong with the frustration and the refs thing. I don't want to say that that's going to be a factor. You never know. I doubt it. It's always possible though. But no officiating involved in a perfect world. They let them actually duke it out. I think the Heat wins it in 6. But anyways, fellas, I'm gonna get off the stream. I'm gonna end this. It's midnight where I am. So I'm gonna holler at you guys. Thank you guys so much for being
real, guys.
Yeah, good night.
The bubble championship.
Bum ass.
Yeah, we're terrible.